Good morning, traders out there. Welcome back to another day. And wouldn't you know it, it's 2026. Can't believe it, guys, but we have already made it to 2026, and I'm excited to take off, guys, in this year and get to new heights. A big part of this is, of course, going to get to the next level, right? And really take it to the next level is one of the biggest things that I'm going to be working on is doing more and more swing games. So let's get right to the action. I'll tell you all about my trades. We'll also take a look deep inside the market. Take a look at some trade ideas. We'll go to the sunrise report. What's going on in Venezuela? Let's talk all about it. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool, and we got a great year to start right here.
Google wants 200, baby.
You ready to get back to the trading action?
You aim, you shoot, and make money. It's going to be a great day. You guys know where you're at.
What's going on, traders? How we doing out there? Ready to get to the action? Let's take a little peek at my weekend and how things went. Of course, I just recently moved, guys. I'm brand new house. Brand new place, guys. We'll be talking all about the changes that are to come. I gotta change this whole room up. Finally, guys, my own home. So super excited about that and ready to take off, guys. Ready to go into the action. Let's go take a look to see what's going on with some of my swing trades and take a little peek into some money making already. Heck yeah, you guys know what that's about, and that's all about the swing trade. So if you guys don't know the swing trade action, definitely get on the action, guys. We're having a good day and starting the year off right. You guys, first. All right. Well, that sounded a little weird. Let me know if the audio's all right there, guys, in the chat. I know that you guys are just coming in. But let's take a look at some of the trading action, some of the action that we got in on the weekend. Was long on COP and actually sold half of it already, guys, with 15 shares. You heard that right, guys. Was able to sell some this morning up at the 103.60s and really good sell level as this is starting to come back down, but with 15 shares up over triple digits there, guys. And you guys see multiple swings open, 4 swings on right now. Also took off my AU short. So I do expect to see some maybe upside in that action, and there's some names today really having a good day, guys. So if you guys took some trades throughout the weekend or on Friday, power to you guys because you got rewarded. And here it comes, guys, right after the Santa Claus rally. It seems like we're going to get the real rally here. All right, we'll see what happens out there, guys. And now we're really kind of making noise. And now we need to see what's going on in the energy space. But we can talk all about this in the action. Let's get to some of the ideas, and then we'll take a look into the sunrise report, talk about what's going on in the market and why. Sorry about that. That should have auto switched there, but I'll have to fix that there. So let's go back to the charts. All right, let's go first up. I'm going to get into a chart that I think is a very important one that I've already cashed this morning. Let's talk a little bit about the COP chart, and this is a really looking pretty pattern. If you look back here on the auto, you're going to go back a little bit of years so that you guys can see the data here, but really good looking chart as it starts to turn, and I love to see this, right? I always look for these guys where it's like a multi-year downtrend, and now it's starting to play in, right? So you guys can see here, this stock was up here at the top. It kind of bottomed out. It kept trying to get back above, couldn't really hold, and now you're making this big comeback. Really, the weekly plays this really nice, right? You guys can see how this was kind of hanging out here. And what did I see? Well, I saw a bunch of oil names early on yesterday, or early on last week. I talked about XOM to the upside and how that could break the 121 and get to the 125 area. It got to 1 26 today. So there it is. There's a nice little breakout on XOM. One of the prettiest looking patterns there is out there. So I think we continue to look to see, can oil names continue to make the next level move? Of course, I'm going to continue to ride COP because I already have it. But there's other ways to play this. We can start taking a look at like a Halliburton, a PSX, right? MPO, right? MPC. That's the one. Marathon Petroleum. Right, there's a bunch of plays that we can take a look at out there. We'll see if these plays can continue making moves. Even a gusher, right? Maybe we get Gush to make the move on the intraday. All right, let's get to the next play on the playbook. Let's go to long AMD. As you guys see, I'm long AMDL throughout the weekend, already up big, up over $1 on the name. I can go to AMDL. I'll just go to AMD. You guys can see the action lately. We've been really kind of sticking towards this support around the 210 area. If you look at the daily chart, you're going to see that you got some kind of bottoming here in the 200 and a quick reversal. That's exactly what you want to see. Why? Because you respected this area, guys. So this area has now been respected, and now you can start to make an attempt to what? Well, you were attempting support. Now you want to attempt resistance. So this is going to be my target for AMD today, for it to come up into the 240s. And then it's going to be all about the presentation. Tonight, Lisa Su will be presenting at CES. And who told you this 2 weeks ago? Money Mitch, talking about how AMD would be that type of play going into CES. And just this jump alone, easy money to be made. If you were long Friday, even towards the close, you're rewarded today by taking a long on none other than, of course, AMD. And there's some other ones that we can take a look at. We'll talk all about them. We'll go to the CES chart, and NVIDIA will also be riding that CES catalyst play. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at RCAT here as we'll take some drone outlook. And last week we had UMAC on the playbook, looking for this to break back above the 12, hold the 9 EMA, and make a breakout back towards the 13s. We're already at 14, so crazy move there. $3 up from 11. Beautiful looking move already, guys. If you think about it like this, even if you got, let's say, the 1150s, you got up there to today's, you're already up 23%. What a move there, guys. And where did you guys hear about this? Right here on the playbook, of course. Now, the play that could be moving off of this, and I mentioned it in last week's post, was that it could be UMAC and then switch to RCAT. So let's see if RCAT can get going here as we start to get this nice push back towards the 950s. I'm in this thing at a pretty spot here, guys. I got 803, so I was able to sell half of this. I had 100 shares on Friday, sold half of it into the rip. We'll look for this to continue here, guys, but really good looking trade here on RCAT. And then just one more, since I'm already trading it, looking for it to go higher, is Rocket. Rocket with a beautiful looking pattern here. And I'm just now looking for this to break and continue higher. It needs to hold 19 here, and then could maybe make a move to 22. That would be my first sell. All right, let's see what happens there in Rocket to see if we get that move back above 2050s and into the 2150. All right, guys, I will let you know that it was an insanely long day for me yesterday. It was up over past midnight, closer towards 2 a.m. And then the boys wanted to get up at 4:30. So shout out to Coffee out there. And you guys see the mug here. At the end of the day, guys, you guys are what? My wolf pack. So get ready, wolves. We got to eat together, guys. So if you're ready to eat, let's get after it, guys. Ow! That money's calling out there. And Money Mitch is ready to get after it. Definitely going to need probably a refill during the show, but we'll worry about that later. Let's keep talking about some trades out there. There's some small names making a move. Let's go towards the action. If you guys have any stock you guys want to check out in the chat, make sure you're throwing it up in the chat. Of course, we'll go through some of those and ready to make some trades. And ooh, Larry boy, a local, a Daytona Beach fan. Hey, AMD, my play for many months. Hey, Larry, you go ahead, you make your money, right? Then we're going to go out to Daytona and do it right? Bike week coming soon, spring break coming. Those are the party times in Daytona Beach. Might have to get a little bit of some driving onto the beach, get onto the sand. Larry, Let me know, man. I'm down south, but sounds like you have a good time, my friend. A smoked tuna in the house. Bonjour, my friend. Bonjour. Smoked tuna. Ready to get that tuna, baby? Hey, you know how I like it, man. What do they call it? The blue gold? All right, what else is going on out there? I like a Wicked Tuna. Have you ever seen that show? And Rando, appreciate the congrats, man. And definitely big moves up. So ready to get to the next level. Got no platform password? Larry, what are you looking for, man? What's going on? Your platform's not working? Let me know, man. All right, let's get to the action. Happy New Year's to all you guys out there, especially to Smoke Tuna. I know that you've been working hard on your indicators, and definitely take a look into that, guys. I'm always a component of trying to use different tools, different skills, and having things up your sleeve, right? Well, get ready because we're going into a new year, guys, and it's going to be a big year for me. One of the biggest things that I want to do is focus more on swing trading. So get ready to learn more and more about swing trading, take more trades, and get to that next level. Larry, you wrote the ticket. I remember. I thought that would be solved by now, Larry. So sorry that you're having issues with that, man. Definitely reach out. Go to the Discord if you have to. If you need to, find somebody in the Discord that responds to you, that's someone helping you, and then maybe DM them so that you can work through the issues. Of course, I'm sure that we'll get you back on, man. Put it this way. There's very few people that have issues getting into the platform. Another thing is maybe it's your browser. If you're using, let's say, Safari or something like that, you might have some issues, Larry. Are you using Apple, Mac? Are you a Windows guy? Let me know, Larry. All right, let's keep taking a look into the market. We'll see what happens there in Rocket. Let's go to the next thing, which is, of course, the Sunrise Report, where we give you what stocks are moving and why. All right, traders, let's get to the action. Let's talk all about what's going on in the market today. And of course, we'll talk all about it with taking a look into the market. We'll go to the SPY chart to kind of describe what happened this weekend. As big news coming out of the market and big news out of Venezuela. If you guys didn't know, I was actually born there. But let's get to the action. We'll talk all about it here as, of course, we are getting some upside action, surprise upside action, as we get this little gap to the upside here with the news. Let's get to the news here as the S&P futures pushed 0.3 higher as Monday as investors largely shrugged off the U.S. attack on Venezuela and the capture of Nicolas Maduro. Crude barely flinched, and the market takeaway was clear. This looked contained, not contagious. NASDAQ 100 futures were up 0.6, fueled by continued chip buying. Dow futures here slipped 16 points, lagging the risk-on tone. Instead of panic, traders are rotating into energy, chips, and hard assets. So calm markets and busy tapes. And I'll repeat that. Rotation into energy, chips, and hard assets. That's where we've been seeing it. Energy, of course, taking the lead here as we started seeing some energy stocks rip to the moon. Let's go to some of these stocks here and take a look at the chart. First one up, we'll take a look at Chevron. Chevron up 7%, the clear winner, given its existing footprint already in Venezuela. I could give you guys that outlook, and maybe it might have been the better stock to maybe take the trade on. Maybe you should have been doing this one instead of COP. You can't really be mad, right? ExxonMobil up 4.2% on this. Halliburton up 9% on this. SLB, Slumberger, and Slumberger, if you guys know how I like to call it. We'll see what happens there in Slumberger as we're starting to get this one to come back down. Will we get a dip buy? Another thing is the XLE looked great itself, right? Just the XLE, the ETF, and a nice little spike of about $1. So good move there in the ETF. We'll see what happens on the action out there. Wall Street, though, is betting pipelines, rig, and services will be back in demand sooner than later. Let's go to defense here as one of the areas that I talked about for the year was what? Defensive stocks, right? Because they had been going strong, parabolic, but it didn't mean it was going to stop anytime soon. So let's get to that action. We'll take a look at some of the stocks that are moving here Trump's swift military action, of course, reinforced the expectation of targeted rapid response policy. Lifting defense names right here: General Dynamics, Lockheed Martin. So your names out there still doing pretty well with this action, getting the next lift, if anything. So you guys can see here, General Dynamics. We'll see what happens on these names if they want to start making a next break to the upside. GD. Definitely one to watch here, guys. The pattern stands out to me. It's clear as day. You got a lot of action here. You get the undercut and rally on Friday. Now it can really start rallying, start making its way to 350, 355. One to keep on watch. All right, let's keep going. Let's go to hedging, and hedges quietly glowing here. Even with stocks higher, investors are taking a look into gold, and gold futures up 2.4%. This is why I covered my gold short. Maybe you should have covered it on Friday. Could have got another $150 out of this. Maybe it was a little bit too small, but I was looking for the trend to completely change, and that's why I'm going to get out here. I'm going to give myself the chance for this to come back up, and I can always reshort in the 85s or above 90s. We'll see what happens here in gold as you start to get the lift. And you need to be able to do what? A lot of the times, let go of a swing trade. It was doing really well. Friday was probably the best day. We broke Monday's lows, and then we're right back up. So instead of me fighting the market, what am I going to do? I'm going to take my little haircut and run with the cash. Run with the cash is very important. One of the things I want to do more often this year, certain times if I feel uncomfortable or I'm noticing the trade go against me, especially in a case like this where the stock is still super strong, I want to get the hell out before I get eaten alive, right? All right, we'll take a look at some other action here. We'll be bringing on Michael in second, ready to, of course, kick off the year and get to the next level. But let's keep going through the Sunrise Report. Couple more things just quickly to run through. All right, of course, movers on the watch. Of course, we'll be looking at oil stocks, but another stock that's getting the lift and a little bit of a head action. So today is all about ratings out there as you get ratings that come out because it's a new year. So pay attention for those ratings. But here's the one that I'd be watching, Mobileye. And I'll give you guys some insight. You guys know how I always can give you guys the inside scoop. So Mobileye is one name that I was talking about when it was down here because I think it was a good bet for the year, as seeing LiDAR is one of the best themes for the year. But another thing that happened is this stock will be having also a keynote tomorrow. Not today, but tomorrow in CES, and that could continue the drive higher here in Mobileye. Of course, Barclay upgraded the stock to overweight and citing attractive risks to return. They might have been watching Money Mitch right here on Trade the Pool. Last one to touch just really quickly, Duolingo, DUOL, 4% up higher as Bank of America upgraded the stock to buy, calling it part education, part entertainment, and massively underappreciated. So we'll see what happens there in Duolingo if that can start turning things around. I definitely think with AI, it's going to be a better company, but is it a $100 company? Those are things to be thought, right? We'll see what happens there. What's next? Of course, Wall Street is coming off its first mixed session of the year. Attention now shifts to Friday's December jobs report, and economists expect 54,000 jobs added and a key data point that could shape the rate expectations early in 2026. Overall, the market opened the week focused less on the shocks and more on the opportunity, energy rebuilding, chip momentum, and selective hedging on the tone for the sunrise. All right, let's going to do it for our Sunrise Report. Like always, where can you catch this? On our Discord, of course. That's where you get the Sunrise Report, right? Then the playbook does come out on Twitter, but we're going to be doing it where it exclusively comes out on the Discord for at least 5 or 10 minutes earlier than anyone has access to it. So join the community today. Don't be that guy saying that you're missing out on things because you're not in the Discord. All right, let's keep going. I see a lot of chat conversation. We'll get to all the chat conversation and everything that everybody's talking about in the chat. I see you guys all over, man. Appreciate the love, Kevin, in the chat. Let's get things really started. Let's bring on the man, of course, ready to start a new year with Michael Noss. How we doing, man? Good morning to you.
Good morning. Did everyone buy the World War III chat again? I saw that trend
Yeah.
on Twitter. It's like you have to every time. It's the easiest trade I can think of. You look at the trending, you go when you log on to Twitter and you see everything on the side, and when World War III is trending, just buy
The
stocks.
thing that I was, and I even had traders like kind of hitting me about this, is I talked about this early, right? As soon as the oil conversation started to come up and the oil conversations about Venezuela and kind of blocking the airfield, I said, this has nothing to do with the DEA. This has nothing to do with drugs. This has nothing to do with cartels and everything to do with oil. Everything to do with rare earths that Venezuela has to offer. That's what it's about. It's about strong arming China and Russia, and especially playing tough on Iran, right? Because that's what Trump is battling right now. Iran, a lot in oil, right? Because they keep sending their oil to China. And who else just sends their oil to China? Venezuela. And what does Venezuela do also? Send it to Russia. So if you cut off that right there, you cut off so much supply for China. Now China is eyes open and really paying attention. So oil, of course, getting a massive spike off of that, and Trump doing the unthinkable, taking the president, poof, just like that.
Yeah, so I learned way more about Venezuela than I've ever knew in my entire life this weekend, and I'm about
Well,
done.
I'll give
I
you one you
watched like
didn't
3
know.
TikToks about
I'll give you one
yeah,
you
go
didn't
ahead.
know.
Go nuts.
I was born in Caracas, Venezuela, the capital,
Oh, I did not know that.
surrounded by the mountains. It's actually a
Oh,
beautiful city. It's like a city
mm,
that's within the mountains. It's literally has mountains around it.
cool.
Right there. And that's where Trump attacked.
Well, I
In
didn't
the mountains. It's pretty wild.
yeah, I just didn't know they had that much oil, right? All I
Oh,
ever, and this is right, me as
a
someone
lot
who
of
just
oil.
has blinders on my whole time. I knew about the inflation problems and all that, but yeah, I just did not know
Yeah.
it was that big of a deal. So again,
My
but this is one of those
grandfather
things.
used to work on those fields back there in
Oh
the
yeah,
oil. He built those oil fields out with Chevron. He
yeah.
worked for Chevron. So,
Oh,
um,
yeah. Well, that will be, and then it'll be a going thing going forward. But
yeah.
it's
Another
it's
thing
like
though is
anything.
this isn't gonna last though in oil, as we know. We know how
No.
this oil game goes, right?
Well, and it's that's why I'm actually interested, ExxonMobil, maybe Halliburton, maybe some of these names for a bit of a fade this morning, just because we talk about this all the time. All right, the reason I hate trading oil is because it's in like the whole world's best interest that oil doesn't move very much, right? So there's like everyone from producers to consumers to everyone, they don't want oil to move very much because it takes so long to get it out of the ground and then to refine it and then to use it and then to the world operates better with stable oil prices. The whole world, not too high, not too low, just right where it is. It's the whole world wants that, right? So everyone in the world wants oil just to chill out because then it's easier for airlines to plan how much it's going to cost to do things, producers how much to pull out of the ground, and refiners to. So it's one of those assets that people use the word manipulate it, but it's just there's everyone in the world, whether you own the oil, whether you want to get the oil, whether you want to use the oil, you just want the price to be constant, right? Some places would love it higher, some places would love it lower, of course, but
Yeah.
the whole world is like really cool if we can just keep oil just not moving very much. So to
Yep.
trade an asset that's not moving very much seems like a lot of revision to the mean stuff, right? So if we look at
Yeah.
Exxon here,
And also a
gap
lot
it
of
up today.
range bounds, right? It's just range bound, right? And I think
Right.
that some traders that don't know oil, that's just the first thing that I would tell you. It's
Yeah.
always been range bound. Yes, like let's say any oscillator, it can go to extremes up and
Mhm.
down, but it always comes back.
Well, and that makes it so if you develop very good revision to the mean strategies, then it could be in a wicked market to put it on. This is why some systematic traders will do okay. This is a biotech, so I'm going to only use momentum trading, and this is oil, so maybe I only use revision to the mean. Which, speaking of, so this is Exxon, I believe, it's on the list today. We might pop this account today. We're what, like we're $300 away. So we're continuing to trade it. We're continuing to learn from everything that's going on and all of that. So I won't look at it as a bad thing. I'll just open up the page, buy a new account, move on with my day.
That's
But
it.
it's getting better. The rate of decline is slowing, which is what we want. But I have Halliburton. I have a lot of chip names, like you were talking about.
Oh,
Chip names are on fire, and yeah, ExxonMobil on there as well. Because I think even some revision to the mean. I'm not saying we're going to close the entire gap or that the
yeah.
oil's going to fall apart or anything like that. But I think that could be right because we have the entire world, all of the forces in the world move to keep oil at a decent price. So, if that's what's going to happen, then I want to play along with it, right? Is why fight it? If it is, this is what I always like. Every time someone says a market is rigged, you should go good, because if you understand a market is rigged and you understand how a market's rigged, you should be able to get super rich from it. So, yeah, just I think, right? I don't use the word rigged because I think it's for the best interest of the world. If right, we keep oil prices stable, then yeah, this is great. So I'll be looking to try to fade these in some respect at some point today.
Yeah, I think today is definitely that day to kind of watch out. We'll see if it can continue to run. That's a big reason why I sold a big part of my swing in COP and was talking to MRO before this, and I'm ready to sell the rip. But I also think this trend can at least continue for a little while. So I'll be waiting for a little bit of a push. But like always, I have a feeling you'll get the move down today and kind of come back into the gap zone, right? Every one of these stocks is going to have some type of gap zone, and you got to look to
Hmm.
see how far into that gap do we go. So for undercut and rallies, I think that's what you're looking at, and we'll see, right? Another thing to mention, though, I heard a lot of people immediately be like, "Oh no, but this is going to cause a bunch of supply come on the market," and I was like, "You don't know how oil works. You don't
No, it
just
is
turn it
it.
on with a switch, right? You don't go
Yeah.
underneath the sink and turn on the the disposal, and that's just how oil comes out. No, it costs a lot of money, and the biggest part is that Maduro was actually causing damage to these fields, not
Hmm.
supplying them with the resources needed. So there's just like it could take like 2 to 3 years to get those
Oh yeah,
oil
for sure.
fields running the way that they want them to run, right?
And it's gross oil, right? And this I know about as a Canadian because the oil
Yeah,
we have is also gross oil. It's bad.
yeah,
Like this is why everyone's like, oh well, Venezuela has more than Saudi Arabia and all that. But yeah, when Saudi Arabia pulls the oil out of the ground, the refinement process of that oil is much easier. And same with
yeah,
our oil sands up here in Canada. If oil gets to like 75, $80, they lay people off and they send them home because it's no longer profitable to get that oil out of the ground because it's just really gross oil. So the refinement process has to take longer and things like that. So, yeah, even when they get it up and running, they're going to need a whole set of infrastructure that in America because they haven't been able to get their oil for a while, they've been turning off these oil refineries. So they'll have to turn them back on and fix them back up and get them ready to go. So yeah, this is a big turnaround process. It's not like we're going to get a snap and then oil is going to be worth more. But that also means that's where I think you could look for an opportunity. So if the price of oil
mhm,
we think is going to stay stagnant, mean revert, well, you could, if you know the companies that are going to do the refining of the Venezuelan oil, well, it should just be a boon for them. So those, you want to take a look at those who owns those plants that they're going to ship the oil to and is going to refine it and make it something useful and then ship it back out. Those guys are probably going to be the net winners of this overall. So, right, that's again, we talk about it all the time. This is where Goldman Sachs locks a bunch of interns in a basement and says, okay, I want you to comb over all of the oil producers and who is being forgotten about. That will be a big benefit from this. So, again, never think of the first derivative thinking is always the easiest and the market prices in right away. Where there's still sometimes a little bit of edge is that third and fourth order effects. Like, the AI trade is a perfect one, right? Where the best trends in AI weren't in AI, wasn't even in chip makers. It was these small nuclear plays, and that's like a seven order step away from what's actually happening. but those are the places I think that the most edge are. So I would take a look at, I don't know, who's going to ship the oil, who's going to refine the oil, who's going to these kind of down the road thinking. I think that's the area that you're going to start to see, because the market won't reprice those right away. They'll reprice those a little bit slower versus something else. Yeah, Rando said a price, right? There's crude oil, and then there's WTI and light sweet and like all kinds of different oil types. Again, there's a whole, most trading desks have an energy guy because it's so complicated, and it's like, this, you are just, I don't want you looking at anything else. You are the energy guy. I want you to know about all these different things, and that's your focus. And I bet you that guy is getting worked like a dog right now.
I got the guy. He's right here.
Oh, I saw that. The AI is getting insane. It's just getting nuts.
Just the truth is that we're getting to these moments really soon with the deep fakes. These are really becoming a problem, man.
Yeah, like, because this,
Blockchain's gonna
is
have
a
to
joke.
come fast, man.
Well, that's what that, I haven't looked at it in a while, but that's what that
Blockchain needs to come
world.
fast, man. That's the only way that we can verify things if they're real or not in the future. Like, Michael, find out ways to invest in blockchain so that we can do it.
That's what this.
I know there's stocks, but the stocks don't seem to be the area. It's private mainly, from what I've noticed right now.
Well,
and
no,
that's
there's,
tough.
if you believe in it. So Sam Altman, and one other dude. I'm trying to find the dude. I
Momentous
think,
is strong as heck, man. That's what you guys see on my screen. Just to let you know.
yeah, it has this world token. I think it is,
The
and
world token. Yeah.
yeah, you have to go into a physical location, and like you put your hand on this orb, and it takes like a palm print and fingerprints and all of
Oh yeah,
this.
I think you told me about that
Yeah,
one.
and then you
Yeah.
get a blockchain address, and you get a bunch of, if you go and you do this, you get a couple world tokens. And the idea behind this is that every time, like if I am to send, and I've seen people do this already, it's very rare, but someone sends a email out and they say, okay, to prove you're a human, I want you from your world address to send me, like a fraction of a penny, right? 1/10 of
Yeah.
a penny or something, to prove that you're an actual human being before I'll do any talking with you. So there's a couple of them trying. The question is, right, which one will win? What will be but I 100% agree. Proof of human is going to be one that's going to be a big deal going forward. It's the only reason I pay Twitter for, I've got like 15,000 followers or something on it, but I've seen Twitter accounts that are imposters with way more followers than me just pop up and start to, so I pay for that little stupid
Oh
badge, like
man.
$10 a month, just try to save someone.
You want to know? You want to know where the real fake videos are going right now? They're
Instagram.
going to the shorts
Yes.
because of Sora. So because Sora came out, and the next Sora came out also on ChatGPT, all these AIs are making these fake, excessively dramatic videos and putting them in shorts, and they get your attention because your brain is immediately like, this doesn't look real. Like your brain can't like imagine it, right? But then I noticed they're fake because it's so over dramatic. Like it's like movies, but even worse, man.
Yeah.
So
Well,
get
and
ready because it's gonna be crazy, man. And this
yeah,
is the
because it
year.
like, 100%. Because right now, again, like the one that you showed, we know it's a funny joke, but man, you take a guy with a powerful enough computer and you give him enough time, he could do it now, right? It's
Yeah.
enough time that, yeah, it just ends up going. So,
There was
yeah,
this.
that will,
There's tons of them, man, and it's gonna keep coming.
yeah, 100%. And I always say when everyone talks about AI, it's like every time you talk about AI, you have to remember this is the worst that it will ever be, right?
Oh
It will
yeah.
never be worse than this. So every moment that goes by, the AI is the worst. And it's always like I say, if you're not using it, right? If you're not using it for your trading, what are you doing? If you're not using it for life and for business, what are you doing? Some other names that I've just got on the list just quickly before we go into what's
Yeah,
going on
let's
with the
do it, man.
market. MindMed, again, every time I talk about this, I'm biased. I own just like an irresponsible amount, like I'm lowering my voice so the wife doesn't hear, like just disgusting amount of this. But huge upgrade today, big gap on that one. It's getting near a bunch of resistance. So this one's going to go on the list for potential fade. That will make me sad, but hey, that's the system. Oscar, this might make you happy, looking to fade this one. Upgrade or something. Nice big gap up on this name. So, right, this one's on the list as well. I'm just looking at the list on the other screen here. Palantir, like 4 or 5% gap up. So this one maybe it continues this downtrend, fades back down, or right, both of these are looking for undercuts and rallies. That's the next improvement when we blow up this account, which I expect to do sometime this week, maybe today. I may just start to do a test to see whether fading the gap is going to be most correct with this undercut and rally. And if so, that will be a change that I make. But right now, I'll take it either direction. So that's on there. Momentous that you already talked about is on there as well. And then again, a lot of the tech names, right? Like SOXL might just be a decent way to play it. But a lot of the chip names that are having moves, maybe they break out, maybe they reverse after that. But good little. There's a lot going on today. It's a good day, which is a good day for trading, which is great because man, I was getting bored the last couple weeks. So, lastly, remind. No, go ahead.
No, they did start moving back to IWM. That's what I saw on Friday.
Yeah.
In the small caps, right? So I think that's a very important area to kind of focus in on, guys. I
Well,
don't
the
think it was
January
really.
effect, right?
Yeah,
You got to focus on
exactly. That
that.
January effect came into play, and it came in fast, right? So I think that's another reason to kind of jump on the momentum today. I'm watching for the Qs to lift. Yeah, you remember
Yeah.
last week I was all about chop, right? Well, let's see if we can go for the attempting break of the chop, which could put us closer, at least even today or this week, somewhere around 620. So I'm not looking at 650 yet. I'm just looking to try to get up there to 623. Then we can put this attempt for 630s and really start to drive. I think this Qs are setting up here, and tech is going to be the thing that I think can really drive us again, right? So gotta continue to watch tech. AMD is one of my trades today based on CES. Talked about this plenty of times. And easy trade throughout the weekend. Any trades you're watching there, my friend?
Well, yeah, all of the right, Rambus, NVIDIA, AMD, all those made the list
All
today.
those.
The yeah, so what's interesting is too the whole January effect thing. Remember, there's
Yep.
can't remember if I talked about it here. I talked about it somewhere. I talked about it a bunch of places, but there's the what's called the first 5 days indicator. I'll bring it up here
Oh
just
yeah,
in case you may have
yeah,
already
it's a big
chatted
one
about this,
for
but
the year.
yeah, and this where is it? Right here. It just shows. Yeah, I did a present there. I've got a ask perplexity about it, but yeah, the first 5 days indicator essentially just you look at the first 5 trading days of the year, and if they are positive,
Hmm.
then you have an 80% chance that the market's up. Now, that sounds huge, but there's a 75% chance the market's always up, right? 75% of the time the market's up every time. But you're up 15 to 16% if the first 5 days of the year are positive versus up 5% if the first 5 days are negative. So that's a huge difference. That's 3 times the average return of the S&P 500. So that's something to watch. And that's starting, of course, today is day 2. And then here's one that's the January effect. So if January's up and the first 5 days are positive, you've got like an 89% chance it's gonna be up. So we are on day 2, right? So the set was day 1. This is day 2. So 3, 4, 5. So if we're up between now and essentially Thursday, then that has triggered, and again, an 80% chance that we're up pretty big. So yeah, keep an eye on that. That one's a really important one, I think, to notice because that's a big chance, a 90% chance that we're up. I'll take that all day long.
Oh yeah, not going to be looking bad at all. Definitely flying today, guys. Momentous. I don't know there's news out there, but it's definitely has the momentum, pun intended, rocketing to the next level.
Getting back to 400,000 a share. So you think?
I mean, Momentous has the thing is that remember the SpaceX IPO is coming out, so that's why this one's lifting too. It's dead, like it's as in the dirt, right? So this one had to have gotten at the very end of the year. You know, a whole bunch of people selling it off, right? And then this thing did a split that I think was a little bit weird. It's like a conversion split just a couple of weeks ago. So
8% short float I'm seeing, so that's pretty. It was like 20, but then they did an offering, so they're sitting around 8. So that's a decent little short float for that one. And yeah, I think you hit on something that's important there about why we talked about the January effect, right? But it's important to talk about, I think, why, right? So the January effect just shows that in January, generally speaking, small caps outperform large caps. The reason why I think that's the important thing is that small caps generally suck. They're generally awful. It's why they're small caps, right? If you were a good company, you'd be a mid cap or a large cap or a mega cap or something like that. So if these things generally suck, then they're generally down on the year, which means into the end of the year, people start selling them dramatically into the end of the year. And then what you look for is that the beginning of next year, which is now, you start buying them again, right? And they start moving higher. So that's what we're looking for here. That's what kind of causes that to happen when it does, right? You get that little push through there as well, right? It's you want to make sure that you're focusing, I think, on that sector and things like Momentous, because it could be going up just because anyone who owned it last year probably sold it at the end of last year to harvest that tax loss. So it could simply be going up because everyone's like, okay, the tax loss harvesting is done. If they have any decent news at all, it's time to
yeah,
rally.
I would put it as like a lot of times what it is a combo of variables, right? And I think it's exactly what you're saying with the addition of space doing well, right? So
Yeah.
when you have the
Yeah.
industry doing well,
Yeah,
if
you
you
need a
just
catalyst. Yeah.
exactly there's a stock in the dump, but just because that stock's in the dumpster doesn't mean it can't lift with the industry, right? If the industry's all lift, well, then it starts to drive that tide and just lifts that boat. But doesn't mean that that boat is going to stay as lifted as some of the others, right? But you can also look for some lags that still haven't gone. One that I'm watching today to give you guys another trade idea, Fly Aerospace, recent IPO, Firefly Aerospace. It's in the right space. It's just starting to go. And I think this is one that was a hated stock and IPO'd. Well, it was really a focus at first, but then it got destroyed. Now it can come back. So I'm looking for that. That's not a bad one to look at. And you got
Someone
PL, ASTS, Rocket Lab. They're all doing well.
Someone just mentioned in chat, they're right, that I should have my watermarks on for you guys to see what I'm looking at. So just comment and let me know if
Yeah,
that's
good
good.
comment there.
If so, I'll do it. I'll do it on the other one too, because yeah, that makes sense. I can see it up here, but I realize that that's wrong. That's small for stream, right? This is why me and Mitch talk about this all the time. The charts that we look at when the stream is off, I have light charts solely. I hate light charts. Mine are black all the time, or I like Mitch's with a really dark blue. But for you guys, I've been told that white is cleaner, so that's what I do again
Yeah, man. And
for you guys, not for
honestly,
me. Give
no, and
me dark, right,
yeah, I've
all day.
actually adapted my eyes for that kind of the bar charts. And honestly, if I was trading, like if I could shift everything, I'd just shift it to bar charts. I've realized the candles don't really help me.
Here I can.
I think it gives me too much information. There could be too much information between candles. And I think sometimes it happens, right? Because we sometimes try to pay attention almost. I think there's sometimes an over focus on price action. Can that actually be true? But I think so. There
This
can be
is
like a
what,
too much focus on price action.
yeah, when you guys aren't looking, this is what I'm looking at. This is
Yeah.
the same, and this is just shows how old I am, right? One of
And
my This
sometimes
said
I'm
one of
like,
my
Give me
mentor
one color. Is this
just
still what, green and white?
it's
Or
just black background, green
I love
bars.
it.
And
For
that's what I
That's
look
it.
at. Yeah, that's it.
Because
Just
up and down, does it really matter? No, it's just price action, right?
No,
So
I think your brain can be kind of programmed because who cares if it was up or down in the last candle? You're really not generally trading that. So yes, this is what I see. Like as soon as the stream
yeah.
shuts off, as soon as I'm not sharing charts on Twitter or something, it
Yep.
goes to this. But people hate it, so then this is what I showed everyone else. And I say that too because I think a lot of people look at it and say, well, if all the traders I follow use, these white charts and the green and the red, so should I. But I think it's just it's like a self-fulfilling thing. This is what everyone's used to looking at. The white sometimes makes it cleaner, I guess, to see on screens. Then great. But yeah, whatever. If you want pink charts, if you want, like I've seen some really pro traders with some really ugly charts, but it's just because it's what works for them. There's a big push I know with a lot of traders to get away from the red because there's been like some studies done about how it can like mess with your psychology or something like that. But
100%. I mean, I don't know
uh,
about you guys, but if you played red light, green light, did you go on red?
yeah, well, exactly, right.
You
So
know what I mean? No, your brain immediately hears red. Stop.
yeah, yeah,
You know what
that's
I
why
mean?
that's why I do that. I know there's people who do black backgrounds and white candles and white
Why?
backgrounds.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too, right?
Some of
I
my
think the
favorite
one color is interesting. It really is.
Some of my favorite technicians just use a plain white screen with black bars.
Black bars,
Yeah,
no need for colors. And
keeping
You
it
can make
clean.
you can make your charts black and white, and you would probably do better, right? Like if we didn't have color screens, it might actually do better. All
The
right, guys,
yeah,
here's the
keep
market
your energy
open.
good.
During the show, a little bit later, around 10, we'll talk a little bit more about the CES event. Today's
Cool.
big thing is NVIDIA's keynote and then AMD's keynote, which is actually at 9 p.m. Eastern tonight. So don't forget that that will affect later, essentially aftermarket, right? All right, guys, market's open. Get after it. Go have some fun. And like always, let us know what trades you guys have up your sleeve. We'll keep watch of the chat and try to catch some comments from you guys. Let's get after it. Let's make some money.
All right. So wow, right off the bat, quite the little rally there. We've had just
All right.
rocking there.
Fabian asking a systematic question. We'll save that a little later, but we'll make sure to get to it. I know Michael will be able to answer that question. Just wait a little bit later. We'll talk about it.
Yes.
All right, let's keep going, guys. Let's get after it. First one giving me an alert. I don't know why it's moving, but WRD. So this is a We Ride alert here, guys. We Ride giving me an alert here, and it's starting to push above the nines. This one, not a bad one to think about. This is autonomous play. This is your kind of your Uber, right? In China, we'll see what happens. Getting a little lift today. Just a name that came up on the scanner. Momentous, still hot. Now $10.55. What a move on that one today. What a move, man. That thing got up there to $11 this morning. Was trading at the 6. All right, out the gates, guys. What's in the red today? Consumer defensive, cyclical, real estate, green, energy, basic materials, and industrials. This is why I didn't want to be long gold because I have a feeling gold is coming back strong right now. Copper's coming back strong. Silver's coming back strong. Aluminum, coal. It's a hot energy trade, guys. METC going to be one of my day trades that I'm looking at.
Yeah. We're just ripping here. We're just going. Like
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
just
This is what I expected in the markets, guys. Just you got to be
so
ready to go.
across the bat here. I'm just hold on, just deleting some things, a little bombs, but
Oh, I hate you, Pfizer. I almost want to delete this stock off my charts. It always looks so good, but I don't want it. I don't want it. It's a time that I'm not gonna get it that it's really gonna make a move, but you know how that goes.
well, it's interesting because right it's probably I don't know, but it could be the time that it does move because no one's focused on healthcare right now, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Everyone's all oil and defense stocks and all that kind of stuff. So it would be the time if there is any time, it would be the time for this thing to move. But Yeah, I'm just watching real closely here just to see if we have, anything that causes a bit of a pullback here. SHG. So you see no trades so far.
Broadcom taking a hit on the downside. Don't know why, but it's really getting hit hard. That looks news based to me, but a hard hit to the downside. Looking around at my swings, guys, right out the gates, I do see METC doing pretty well here, so I'm going to try to grab some here on the pullback. The only reason I don't already have it was the spread was like 20 cents, so I need some pullback action, but I would love to get some METC on that pullback.
Yeah, so I'm looking here for what is moving, right? So we have XLK actually opened up, pulling back just a little bit. So where are we ripping here? So XLI, XLF, wow. Financials are popping from the open pretty big. Materials, we have XLV up a little bit as well. This has been relatively weak today in the healthcare space, but just seeing the tech pull back off the open here. Then you take a look at the SPY and it just ripped right off the open. So now that we're resting, I think the question is, do we come back to test a pre-market high? Do we pull back at all? Or we scream in here? Because we don't have far to go to get back to
Yeah.
all-time highs.
One name to look at, guys, and I think it's an important trade at the beginning of the year, is more energy. Solar, actually, because the first half and the big, beautiful bill will be taking off some credits that they have. But what do you need to do to get these credits? You need to have the construction already going by the first half part of this year. If you don't, so what does that do? That's going to front load a bunch of solar activity. This is why solar has been getting the lift. And if you ask yourself, why has solar lifted in the last couple of months? It's that reason. So they're front running construction. They're front running projects because they're going to lose out on credits. So I expect quick upside in the beginning part of the year. And then maybe even after the first quarter, I'd be a little bit concerned about solar stocks. All right, getting a little pullback, trying to get a fill in METC. Let's see if we get it. No fill, man. No fill, man. The spread is just... They're not letting me in on the energy trade. They know Money Mitch already knows this.
Just taking a look. I've got nothing. No
fills, man. Had an order out there, just no fill. I had the order out there at 1960. It was at 1980 on the offer, and it's already 2020. So
at AMD chart. Or not AMD.
AMD, baby.
Popped. It's already down into the pre-market range. So this is failing here. So we're getting technology actually failing into the gap, right? A huge gap. It can go to, whoa. And there comes 3 trades right away. Let's take a look here to see. We're short a bunch of stuff. So we're short AMD. You can see that just popped through there. We're short SOXL and we're short CoreWeave. So seeing a little bit of undercut and rally action happen there.
Another area that's doing well this morning, guys, is pretty much everything in industrials. So I don't think there's a single. Oh, yeah, there is a little bit down at the bottom, like 3 industries in the red. But that's out of 22 industries in industrials. So strong action led by engineering, construction, and aerospace and defense. So the engineering and construction area is the interesting part for me. Tells me RKT Rocket should have a little bit of lift today. And it's doing pretty well, guys. I have this on the swing, and I'm trying to ride Rocket, guys. Rocket's looking really good. So one of the things this year that I really want to work on, guys, and you guys will start to see it, so definitely smash the like for things like that. But I'm going to be working, guys, to just be trying to focus on, at least while the market action's going on, focusing on my swing action, and then trying to, dare I say, have a bot to do my day trading. So we will find out what's going on there. Stay tuned, guys. More things to do. looking at oil, it's definitely coming back into the gap a little bit, right? You are still getting some pullback. Let's see if for any reason we can actually catch a ride back to the upside, right? So you did get that gap back down. Now you can start maybe looking to see if we're going to get a little bit of a dip and then the push right back up, right? So they wash them and now they'll try to send it back. We'll see what happens out there.
So yeah, I am heavily short semiconductors right now. It seems like everything has come through has been a except CoreWeave semiconductor short here. So we'll see. Again, I left the daily P&L up here. It's probably pretty small. I'm down $10, but this account's on life support, but we're totally okay with that. And when it explodes, because I think it will, we'll do a post-mortem on everything. Again, I'm doing all of this kind of publicly and showing the process, and we've had a big sell off, and then it's kind of teetered out a bit, and we've just been leaking a little bit. So that makes me think, and that's the process of being a trader. And to be blunt, is usually you lose a lot, and then you start losing a little bit, and then hopefully you start making a little bit. So I think we're kind of in that, hopefully in that zone where we're potentially turning this strategy positive. And I'd say I'd give it maybe one more account. And if it blows another account as well, then we just say, you know what? This strategy doesn't work, at least not in an automated way. Let's move on. And again, the next target is the hangovers. We're going to have a sit down with Kevin and automate the heck out of those.
All right, guys, looking at open for a swing.
Open. Oh. There we go here.
Love the weekly off the kind of the 570 look. So you got to give it room, right? Like always, guys, give it that room. This is one of the things that I'm working more and more on. What do you see on my swings? Big. Oh, look, I got 5 positions on, right? I want to get back to the way I used to take more swings, which was 8 to 11 positions on at a time, and just trying to manage them, right? And trying to focus on that. And especially when it's risk to return plays, like on open right now. This is why I'm taking this swing right. And another reason why you'll see me focus more on what? About that, guys. Hit the wrong button there.
And you gotta let them dance, especially in the swing side of things. You're gonna get little gaps that have nothing to do with your stock. They could be market related, right? You gotta give it a little room, little room to breathe, little room to let them dance.
Yep.
100%.
Let them dance. Let them dance. Look at the daily charts, especially for me. That's where I get my edge off of, guys. It's not the intraday charts. It's looking back at what would be the risk if I took this trade simply based on this chart, not the intraday chart, just on this. This is the daily chart, right? Well, that gives me a beautiful risk to return right here, where I can go ahead and say, hey, I want to risk down into this spot down here, and I want to give myself potentially the return to make it even halfway up this. I don't need to go all the way up here. If I go up here, I mean, that's 77. I don't think anyone will be mad. But even if I get half of this, right, let's say back to this resistance, that's 30% higher, right? So for 15% risk. These are the types of things that I'm looking at, right? So, guys, draw these out. Look for trades like that. That's what I'm going for, guys.
UAMY tax talking about that actually is a decent looking daily chart.
Yeah, that's your uranium metals play. USAR leading the up action also today. So there's your play, your rare earths play doing really well. USAR and UUUU. Those are the 4 that go. Those are the 3 that I'd put together that trade very similarly. So you see there UUUU. You'll see USAR. And you'll see UAMY. Look at that USAR chart. That's a nice little pop off through 15. This one's at 7. There you go. Good looking charts there, guys. Rocket going a little bit higher there. RCAT going a little bit higher. That's the names that I'm watching. Oil still on the drop there, but holding in. I got 15 shares of COP, man, and I was up almost triple digits. So that just goes to show you don't need to have a lot of shares to make money, right? I want to repeat that, guys. You don't need to have tons of shares to make money. It's not always about
again,
shares.
that's the beauty of swings is you've got that you have these huge moves that can take place. Like there's nothing stopping. Again, we can hold all the way up until the next earnings report. So if the thing you're in just wants to rip for 3 months, then you could just hold it for 3 months. And that's what I really love about swing trading. It's why, again, I do a lot of swing trading with my personal money, is that I don't have I don't have to think that much. If the thing's going up, I just let it go up. It's a lot of, you take your trade, you put out your stop, and you sit on your hands, and you really wait for the market to convince you
Oh, rocket.
that the move is over.
I'll take it, guys. Rocket there, just taking off here now. RKT to 2050, looking good, man. This is what you want to see in a nice
Oh
swing.
yeah,
For you to see an opening candle like that, I'm like, don't touch, hands
yeah.
off, hands
Well,
off,
this
Mitch.
is where I think the movement to systematic will help your swing trading
Oh,
as well, because eventually you wanna say, okay, I want to exit when it breaks, I don't know, the 9 EMA or something. You pick something
that's
like
it.
this. You set an
Now,
alert.
now you're hacking into my brain here, Michael.
Yeah. Well, you need to set an alert and you say, listen, I don't even want to look at the thing. I don't want to know about it until it breaks the 9 EMA.
Yeah.
I just want to just put it over there, and my phone will vibrate and my watch will vibrate. Like everything will say, okay, this thing is now broken the 9 EMA. Get out. And until then, you avoid it
Yeah,
entirely.
I tried to think back always at like the year and try to get like either learning lessons or maybe even learn from your own edge that you're not seeing, right? Because as a subjective trader, that happens often where you're just not even seeing your edge, right? So I think back and if I had to tell myself, hey, Mitch, what's the best thing you did last year? And what's like kind of the worst, right? Those questions are important to be asking yourself, traders. One of the things that I think I do well is I find the charts, daily charts, great breakouts. The key is how do I trade them? And what ruins me a lot of the times is what? It's just too much concentration in on these plays and then not taking enough of them. Because if I just took the plays that I put out on the playbook, I think the playbook itself, the one that I put out on the tweets all the time, is insanely good. I just get crossed up in the noise of the market open, right? Which happens to most traders, right? So
I
I
say
think
this all the
that's
time.
part of it.
I don't think human beings were made to trade, and I think the ones who do it purely discretionary and do well are freaks. And I have never met a trader myself who is a consistently profitable trader that I know of that is not systematic in some way. Now, I
Close.
always use Brian Shannon for an example of this. Dude's never programming a bot to trade for him. He's not going to do it. He's too old school. But if you go back and you look at videos 10 years ago from the guy, he's doing the exact same process on the exact same analysis and the exact same. So as soon as you get good at that, I think you're systematic. I've been saying this to you for ages, Mitch. I think you could
Yeah.
completely set up that watch list that you do in the morning to get auto traded and just let it go. And then you're basically done all of your work before the market opens. And when they break the levels, you get the position again. I've got a bunch of positions here now. And I don't
All
know
right,
anything
guys.
about any of
I
these yet.
going long on gold with a short.
Long on gold with a short. What are we doing there?
Did you hear that? Did you hear that one? That's a confusing statement. I'm going short on the duster.
Gotcha.
Bearish gold miners here. I expected gold to get a little bit of a lift today, and that's why I sold out of my swing. And I'm seeing it already in silver. Silver might be the area to go to, right? Because that's already pushing. AG is one name that you can look at there. DVS is another name that's kind of unknown. But AG already getting the lift over that 1650. That actually looks pretty good there too. So I might take a trade on both of those. Silver to the upside and looking for gold to the upside also. Yeah, I kind of like it here. I just needed to pull back a little bit, back towards the 17s here. So it's either scalp here, 200 shares, or wait for the 17 for an undercut and rally through there.
So
But look at
while
that
we're talking
drive.
swings, right? So
Let's do it.
I don't talk too much about my swings because I take a lot of them and they have a really low win rate. So I'll just tell you right. Everything I do swing is like batting sub 50-50, but I'm old. I'm an old man, so I'm okay with that. But this Funko looks kind of interesting. I know this is like a
Ah,
garbage company. Absolute, right? Look at this thing. Just garbage company. But it triggered on kind of like a bull flag system that I have, and this is one of my favorite systems. Again, sub 50, like 45%. So there's more than a 50-50 chance that this loses, but such tight stops, right? So I just looked and bought in at like 350, right? And there's a stop like 330. So I'm risking 20 cents on the trade with no profit target. We're just kind of going to go until things go. And right, that it's could get to $4 or something, right? That's that prior high right here. So take a look at go now quickly through the swing trades. We have a lot of them since talk. Again, short a lot of these names. These we're short NVIDIA, we're in short AMD, we're short SOXL, so we're short a ton of chips. And then long, we got some Lunar, so that's doing okay. That's holding, so that's going to work with Mitch's Rocket Lab there. Also, short some Momentous, so you can see overcut pre-market high and then back through. And what are we? We're along a little bit of Palantir, and then we got SIDU here to the long side. Last but not least, long Halliburton. And then I started to get that beep. That's why I figured I'd go over it now. So yeah, I'm out of buying power, up like $120 unrealized currently. What a day. It's been a busy day.
All right, guys, trying to dip by fly underneath 25. I've talked about this already in the pre-market, trying to do another swing, guys. I'm going to just keep them going. They're looking good today. I need to get back underneath 25 here to get fly, but this is undercut and rally written all over it. Our pattern, man, our pattern. Fly, Firefly, aerospace.
Oh, yeah, I see that there. So that would have done.
You see,
That
pretty.
met the. So this is, again, this is something cool that we can do, right? We can take a look at the, see what that would have done. That would have triggered on the 1 minute. Let's look at the 1 minute. Yep. So that would have triggered on, now that we're using MACD, it would have triggered right here at 24.75-ish. And then it gets stopped the low of the day. So it's a little bit of a trigger there. So yeah, I'm full, $22,500 worth of buying power. It's trying to take more trades, but I'm just out. It tried to take SIDU. Is that one? Did I get that one? No, I got that one. It's. I just hear the bum of no buying power going through my ears. So. Yeah, there's a lot of trades. And this one, again, I'm only taking, I have those other strategies that I pass the account with, and I've talked about that I'm taking in my personal account. This is, I'm only taking these in this account because I don't know if it works yet. So that's the beauty of it being systematic about this, is I don't have to guess. If I pass an account with this, I'll deem that good enough that I can then move it to my personal account and trade that one as well. But currently no fills, so no stops, no targets. We're just sitting there and we're up like $75, give or take. So we're waiting for all these things to either trigger to stop us out or take profit, and we just sit out until then.
Seeing a lot of quantum strong today, so just to put that out there, that is strong. MSTR strong also. Let's see if we can get a little bit of some Bitcoin action to the upside. So even Ethereum, Ether, ETHU looks interesting today. Looking for a little bit of a rally, right? Airlines doing really well today. So that's an area that you can look at for hot trade.
So there is a number coming out here. I'm seeing here. ISM manufacturing, PMI and ISM manufacturer prices are coming out at the top of the hour. So we have 9 minutes until that's happening. So
watch industrials probably get a little lift on that. Ooh, this chart looks actually interesting. Man, these swing charts look beautiful when we get months like we did last month where it just didn't do crap. That actually makes things a little bit easier for us. What about Honeywell above 200 here? It's at 198 here, but it looks pretty to make a move. And dare I say, is it the year for Honeywell to make a move? I mean, Honeywell never goes anywhere, but sometimes it's like this. You stop paying attention to them. That's how it was with GE. And all of a sudden, GE was a rocket ride, right? So
yeah.
I don't know. I think this is a really good looking chart, really good looking weekly, really good looking daily. The three combo tells me maybe I want to be long it, right? I'm gonna try to get a piece of this, man, and just stay really small. Um, let's go. Let's open more. Let's open more. Honeywell looks great. Let's try to
Yeah,
do $2 of risk here. I gotta risk to the 195, so I want to get closer to the 197.50 or 197.
yeah, I would say that that's how that always happens, right? Is that it's the most forgotten about names make the best move. It's as soon as everybody's talking about something, it's the shoe shine boy thing, right? It's talking about something that's probably at or near the end. But yeah, it's the lame stuff that I love. I love patterns like this, and again with Funko,
Yeah.
just it's stuff that is awful. Like this is an awful company. I'm not planning on holding this for any length of time, but everyone stop talking about this one. It's bad, and then if it gets some momentum, it gets the chatter first or the momentum first, and then the chatter second. So as soon as the chatter comes out, then you get these huge spikes. So if you're in there first, then you can kind of go and flip to those ones, right?
There's some names moving out there. I'm making money here on the short of dust. So pretty much long gold here. Just trying to get it to keep running on the downside. Funko.
Gotcha.
Here it
Finance.
goes. Let's go
Man,
gold. Look at that. Look at Duster. The dusting thing off the
look at
table, guys. But
finance today. XLF just ripping here. Just
dude,
crazy.
that's rates. That's rates.
Yeah, so that should be affecting our IWM, right? So
Yeah.
across the board, just high market looking right. IWM is doing the best here, holding up the best. Actually, the Dow is beating everyone of all things. It's crazy. Q's just
All right.
in the lower end of the range, and then we have RSP. But really, across the board, it's been a good day. Can't really say
Let's
much.
try to make some day cash right here. Let's go. Come on, feel me. You guys see the target profit right underneath it, 680s here on the short for the Duster. I have 1,000 shares here from 692. First short 695, second short 690s. Boom, just cashed. Take that money and run, baby. Quick money, nice cash. Was gold to the upside. Was looking for a vehicle. I could have done JNUG to the upside, right? It would have been the same thing. But I just said, you know what? I'm just going to go quick leverage here on the Duster. And this is why you also cover your swings when you feel they're going against you. In this case, I thought I had AU pegged. This morning, gold, if it really wanted to crumble, this AU would have been down the 70s and it would have been done. Like, written it off. But when you see that turn go against you, and you see that action in the pre-market like this, and you've been just slightly green, and you've been big green multiple times, but it just doesn't seem to give you that next leg, you, at least from my experience, what I've told myself is just cover. Take your little cash and run. You had it pretty good, but it just didn't give you that real breakdown. And that happens. You held on well these days. I started shorting here. This first drop off, right? So it came back, rejected it, came back, rejected it. When it comes here this third time, I've talked about the rule of three too many times here, but the rule of three tells me that if it gets back above here, it can hold and break out. So boom, it breaks above that, holds, and now it's on the breakout, the opposite. And if you don't cut fast, this is how shorts that get run over, this is how they get run over. They get too stuck that now I need gold to come down. No, I can go trade gold to the long side today, trade it maybe for the week or two to the long side, and then come back for shorts later.
Yeah, just get a better price, right?
Exactly. And not be so stuck on your one trade idea, right? Not one trade idea, guys. Plenty of trade ideas, and also being able to let go, right? That's part of the ego thing, right? So. All right, how are we taking a look into the market here? I know RSP is kind of hanging in there. At least from the sectors, it's very balanced, like you see on the RSP, where it's not really getting the lift. But where is the drag? The drag is oil. Oil is almost down 2% from the open, at least energy stocks. So are they going to stop the bleeding?
Yeah, the only other sector that I see just not doing great here is just healthcare, right? Everything else is holding on. Right? We have tech that's bleeding a little bit, but we're definitely being held up. Right, KRE, regional banks, and then finance just breaking out to new highs. So yeah, we're just having a wicked day from that respects, and take it. Right, like what the banks again, not the most interesting sector out there, not going to be the sexiest thing to potentially trade or look at. You can do FAS and FAZ, which is triple leverage this. That should get you enough juice to get you interested. But it's overall going to be a good thing if the banks are going higher, because banks are going higher. That means health of the economy is strong, that everything is doing well from that respect. And that's going to be bode well for the overall market. These are the guys who kind of do everything. Just taking a
Well,
look here
guys,
again. 1
hold
minute.
on.
Oh, number.
Cash it. Let's cash some rocket here. Wanted you guys to see it. There, you guys just cashed a little bit of rocket there, guys, on the swing account. Boom, taking some off of that nice candle. So I took off half. Just paid myself another 50. The swings, man. I'm not looking for 300s anymore. I'm just stacking up these 70s and 80s. Got 5 positions on. Let's keep it going. Good cash, man.
Yeah,
Good cash.
we got to see. So again, let's go to the SPY here. Yeah, we got 1 minute until this number. It's it's ISM, so it's not huge. It's not like an FOMC thing, but could like we talk about all the time. Sometimes these numbers come out and then the market picks the direction, because we're looking at the SPY here. I need to. Yeah, it shows there, so I need to find a different color because it doesn't show if the pre-market data is on there, and yeah, so we're just kind of hanging out here, and there's the number. We're getting some reaction from it, and the first knee-jerk reaction's higher. Remember, it's always the 17th knee-jerk reaction that we're interested in. We can do one of blue. How ugly is blue? The watermark. Oh,
Man, they really don't like UWMC for Rocket to be doing what it's doing, but they don't like it.
let's do. That's fine. Let's make it a little there.
That's one name I'll keep watch, guys. UWMC. If Rocket can continue doing what it's doing, at some point I expect this stock to lift, but we'll see what happens on that.
Yeah, so we had a little pop up there with the number out. Some increased volatility. So, right, something moved. Some robot took a position there. It looks like we're just fading back down, though. I'm just looking for something. And this happens, we talk about all the time on big gap days, is that sometimes you just get, it's like, hey, we're up 0.5% across the board. Maybe that's it. But it looks like the second knee-jerk reaction on those numbers is down. Had a little bit of a drop. Now we're close to the lower end of the range. And I'm looking for the number here. I don't even think it matters, but well, you guys know me. I don't think it matters.
Yeah, I can pull it up.
Some people might want to.
Honeywell
For
looking
boy
great.
Walter there. So Walter's got it here. Is at a 14-month low, whatever the manufacturing index, 47.9 versus an estimate of 48.4.
No fill there on fly. Canceling for now. We'll watch to see if I can get below 24.40s. The spread just went wide, about 46 cents. So that tells me get the heck out for right now.
So question is, everyone using robots trade? No, I do. Mitch, I'm working on them.
You're literally watching me do it in live.
I'm getting.
You see me making money. The key is, what do you see also? You see me trying to focus on my swings, trying to focus on my trading. And what I realize, where's the bread and butter? What's going to put it on the table, right? Because if it's just, and that's what day trading is to me, is that swing is just where the bread and butter can really be made.
I always say, right, day trades for income, swing trading's for wealth, right? So you're just trying to, with day trade, you're just trying to come in at the end of the week, you have a little bit more money than you started with, and that's great.
A little more.
And, if you can just build that over time, that's great, and there should be some consistency in that. So if you look at it, if we make betting analogies, right, day trading, you're making a lot of very small bets, and then you hope that across a lot of very small bets, At the end of all of that, the bets work out. Like you're flipping a coin like 10 times a day, and the net of that is that you hope that your coin is a little bit weighted in your favor, right? Like 51% in your favor. So with enough coin flips, you're going to make a little bit of money. And that's great, and you can make really good, consistent with that. Swing trading, you're going to be less consistent because your streaks are longer. So your win streaks are going to be way longer and make way more money, and your loss streaks are obviously going to be way longer and make more money. And right, so there's going to be different, and eventually, none of these things are going to be a thing, and that's what I'm excited for. Right, 24-hour markets. There's not going to be such a thing as day trading and swing trading. It's going to be take the trade, hold it until the profit, and then get out. Right. And that's what I'm super excited for, is that when none of these things occur, when there's no day trading, there's no swing trading, there's just trading. That's how, Forex and futures people have been living for ages. Crypto guys, you don't hear about crypto guys really day trading because they don't have this arbitrary period of time in which they have to exit their trades. And with the 24-hour markets coming, that will be us soon, where everything will just be you'll be trade. Right. I remember T+5 tax saying, man, you just dated yourself there. I remember T+3 for like 20 years. I don't remember T+5. Now we're getting to instant settlement and 24-hour markets. So again, it's going to change it. I don't think in a couple of years you're going to hear this differentiation between day trading and swing traders. It will just be, I took the trade, and my trade plan was to get out when it broke the 9 EMA. And 3 weeks has gone by, and I'm still in it because you're gonna be able to get those kind of random wicked gains that just go. Speaking of going, SPY, we had a little bit up move, a little bit down move after this number. Now we're creeping right back to highs, so we might be taking an attempt here at the high of the day. So let's watch this closely, because with that should go everything else, hopefully.
Yeah, got a tiny bit of fly there. I'm doing it more in the day trade because the swing is pretty much dry of buying power, but we need more. We need more.
More buying power.
More buying power. So we'll be looking to do that, guys. I'm actually going to be trying to do a couple of evals on the swing account while I have my funded. Right, what you see me trading on the swings, these are funded. It is real trading, baby. So let's keep getting after it, guys. Trying to dip by a fly. That thing looks great, man, today, especially with the momentous kind of action and all those types of moves. But the key is, will I get the dip by here? Need to get it below 25.
So yeah, momentous has been working out here. I think I've only gotten one. Yeah, SIDU ticked out for a loss. That thing's just right back in its range, so that's okay. Net, right? So down $48 real, 176 or so unreal. So up 150 or so net across the position. So what will happen from that? Right. So core weave, still all the same things, right? Core weave. So XL, short AMD. AMD has definitely been falling apart all day. Oh, so AMD we actually got a cover on, so let's just go with that. That just happened.
Outfly, too low volume there, wouldn't account, so I'm just going to get out.
Oh, and we lost on our Halliburton. Ooh, Halliburton just kind of ticked down pretty aggressively lower there. So that was one of the. So this is, again, the next improvement I'm going to look to make to the system is fading gaps, I think, maybe more. And the idea is that, look at that Halliburton. We talked about it. I remember us chatting on the open saying we're kind of look to fade these things. But yet the system took it long. So we have to go in and take a look there just to see, what and if I can choose. Because right now I'm not choosing direction. I'm simply choosing the symbols and letting them trade. So the next might be to choose the direction that they could potentially be traded in as well, and see if that adds a little bit of benefit. So again, just with you guys, purely open and showing you step by step building a robotic system to trade the markets without doing a lot of. Now normally how I do it is I back test everything, right? And I program everything and do a bunch of fancy math stuff. But I'm trying to show you guys how to do it without having to do any of that. Where is oil? Let's see. Tax asking.
I'm ready to get long
57.69.
AMD in a second, guys. I'm going to be getting long AMD in a second. I'm just waiting for it to play out here. Qs are still looking good.
Well, I just covered my AMD short, so maybe we as a firm. So there's the trade.
Just got a little bit. Need to grab a little bit more below 224.50s.
Right. So maybe as a firm we can make it on both sides. Just FYI, Mitch, for you, I've noticed my internet stuttering a bit. It is negative. Oh, wait, I have to do this in negative 20 FNC. No, I have to convert it to American.
Got a little cold outside.
Oh yeah, -5, I guess, in your guys' temperatures.
Love it. Love to hear it.
Sometimes the actual fiber optic cables can freeze, and if like snow comes by, they kind of pop. So sometimes it cuts out internet. So might be too cold for my internet, which is great. Someone's asking, yeah, this is a good time for it. Asking, can I ask questions about webhooks now? Go right ahead. We'll weave in your question between.
Sorry about that. I know that we. I'll scroll up. I know I had Fabian's question.
Oh, was there a?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Did he already ask?
Yeah, he did. It was just earlier. It was like right before the bell, so I said that we'd get back to it. So that's my fault.
If you can retype or copy and paste your question, that would help us. Yeah, again, so for the first half hour, I know we're pretty laser focused on trading. But then after that, which is now, then yeah, certainly ask away. We can go through whatever you guys want, right? It's your show.
Yeah, man. And we're definitely here to help you out, my bud. Oh, I think it was this question right here. Did Mitch find it? I think I might have found it.
Question: do you prefer webhooks in Trade the Pool via TradingView or TrendSpider? So this is going to be, I prefer TradingView, but let's just do, this is the Mac versus PC debate, I think. TrendSpider is going to be more like your Mac. It's simpler, which means it's way more user-friendly, but way less customizable. So the question I think you need to ask yourself is, how kind of deep do you want the rabbit hole to go? So with TradingView, you can set up a trading bot without any code. You can do it. It's purely GUI interface type stuff. You can just select the symbol and what you want it to do and all of that stuff. That is hugely beneficial for maybe people. Again, I don't know your background, obviously, but people who aren't as tech savvy or don't want to get into the programming or don't even know if this is for that. So that is that benefit. And then TradingView, it is all code. You have to code it in entirely from the ground up, right? Just pure. It's all of PineScript code. Now LLMs are really good at PineScript, so that helps big. You don't, if you're not a coder, you can kind of muscle through it with ChatGPT and Claude and all these kind of guys. But yeah, if you're looking, I use TradingView because again, I'm deep into this. I do my day trading and swing trading. I run my website, my service, and all of that off TradingView. But if I was someone who was just kind of dipping my feet in, or if I was somebody who was just getting started, I would grab TrendSpider because it's, again, purely GUI interface. You don't have to get, and then maybe if you hit like a limitation, then maybe you go over to TradingView after that. So it depends where you are kind of in the thing. So again, just TradingView, more customization, but a lot of programming. TrendSpider, less customization, but no programming at all. So that's the pros and cons there.
All right, guys, just hanging in here in AMD. Can't get too fast or too long, too early. Still got it in the swing, right? It's come down to probably about half of what I had earlier. So just looking for it to get the bounce. But I actually took this on the day trade now and then just trying to ride it, right? So we'll see what happens there, guys. Good day overall so far. It's 10-12 in the green in both accounts, and not trying to push too much because I am running on like maybe 3 or maybe 4 hours of sleep. But
kids.
no, well, the move, man. I moved over to the new house. I'm in the new house, and then move with kids.
With little kids, it's just a nightmare.
Yeah, no, I'm with it. But for me, not a move. It's just kids, just kids.
Just
It's
kids.
that
I'll do
that
to you.
stage. Oh, just get ready. There's you think you're all done with sleep regressions, and then there's another one that
Oh,
happens around 3, and they just like you
dude,
wake up and he's standing right there because you can't confine them anymore.
it's it.
They're free road. He's right there. He's like, hey man, it's
Don't
dude,
worry,
it's
mine are
2 a.m.
crawling out the crib. I put the crib as lower. I gotta get the floor bed. They're opening the door. They're getting out. They're no longer wanting to do naps. They're not
No.
even 2 yet. They don't want to do naps.
Oh, he's 3.5, and I said we're still naps because that's my favorite part of the weekend.
That
Is
is
that
the best part.
everyone shuts down for a couple hours. I sleep. Everyone naps. But yeah,
Yes,
it's a
yes.
comment there. We should have like a bumper for dad talk that just pops up and just like old man dad talk. Like Yumi up 11% tax talking about.
Yeah, the dog. Believe it or not, the dogs are enjoying it. They're knocked out, man. Just they're just flopped there, man.
Well,
They're
they're
enjoying it.
all kinds of new smells, right? It's
Yeah.
different place.
All right,
Take a look
guys.
here.
Just got now 100 shares of AMD on that recent drop. We'll try to hold up 224 undercuts.
MSTR. So we have Bitcoin rallying here.
Yep.
MSTR is not, man, this thing is a dog. Holy, I bet. Yeah, this looks a little better. Oh, it's horrible. Like and you can just look at the difference. So this is IBIT. So this is your pure Bitcoin play. And then you go to MSTR and he's barely off the lows. So right, that's just unfortunate that, if this is why I like ETFs is because imagine being bullish Bitcoin.
ETHU looks great right here. Just to make a mention, I don't have the money, but just want to mention it.
Yeah, imagine being bullish Bitcoin and you use MicroStrategy as your vehicle
Like your
for it.
vehicle. I
And
mean, just
you're right that Bitcoin works and then you lose money.
no. Here's a better one. Here's a better one, Michael. Not that you chose it, but that your money manager chose it.
Yes, well, that's the biggest thing, right?
That's the biggest one, right? Because average Joe, not meant to be smart, right? But when it's the guy that's supposed to get paid to bring you back money, and he's putting his money into MSTR, I mean,
Let me see if I can find it because MSTR had this like graph. I don't know if you saw that went viral on the weekend, bragging about. Let me see if I can find this real quick. They had this
rally, looking for it in AMD now, and just to really quickly show the chart here before the trade happens. So you see here how it really looks like it's about to drop. I was waiting for this undercut, right, where it cuts the support, and then all of a sudden what you want to see is the time and sales all of a sudden change. It was a lot of bid action, now a lot of offer as we start to break back through 226. We'll see if that happens here. Going back to you, Mike.
This is the chart. This was funny. So yeah, tax saying I'm blurry again. The cold.
Yeah, for a second there, yeah.
But yeah. So they had this. This was right on the MicroStrategy's website. It's just a chart that was updating. So right, I know it's hard to read. This is Google, Gold, NVDA, and then I guess they put this chart up on their website when MicroStrategy was doing amazing and all these other assets sucked, and they didn't update the chart. They didn't pull it off their website when they started to suck, probably because they fired the guy who did it, because all they do is buy Bitcoin. And then so now right on the MicroStrategy website, it shows that you could have invested in anything else except MicroStrategy and made money. I just thought that was absolutely hilarious that they had just right on their website how bad they are as a company. It's like probably not the thing you should really advertise, but it made me laugh anyway. But yeah, just watching Bitcoin here, it's breaking it like as we speak.
Yep.
So if we take a look here, right, it's IBIT's popping up right out of this little base, and we've been in this base for a long time here. So I'm watching this right across this high, and that's like $54 or so. And that sits around kind of like 94,000 or so in Bitcoin. If we can get above that, if we can rally above this 94 or 95,000, maybe. Like, I'm not one to think. I don't think we're ripping back to 126 or anything like that, but it could be. And like Mitch was talking about, I'm more interested in Ethereum.
Order out the cash here, some in our cat.
I think Bitcoin's a little bit too institutionalized to be fun now, but I do think Ethereum could be interesting and potentially could challenge these old highs. Now, again, full disclosure, I own a bunch of Ethereum. Actually, my wife, I don't know if she knows this, she owns a bunch of this ETH Bitcoin ETF. So hopefully I'm right. Or I'm going to be in trouble.
What's going on?
Tesla up $17. I haven't even looked at Tesla today. Oh yeah, that's an interesting little chart there on Tesla. Down what 4 or 5, probably more, almost 10 days down in a row, and then gaps down and starts to rally here. That is an interesting looking chart. And my Oscar here, we're ripping good here on Oscar. I'll take it. Mine men, not so much. Mine
All
men
right, guys. I just did an order mistake there. I was wondering what was going on. This is the key of having 2 accounts open at the same time and playing the game. I was there shorting RCAT when I was trying to cover it. Like I was trying to like sell some shares, right? And I'm like, why is my shares not selling? What is going on here, Mitch? It was me. It was me. I was hitting this order box, which is the evalve, the day trading evalve, and not this one. So let's get the heck out. Let's take some cash. Boom. Just paid myself another amount here on RCAT. What is that? That's an over 20% win, 25.9. I'll take some money. I'll take some money, guys. We'll see what happens if we can keep cashing on the day, right? Just paying myself through. Let's keep working, guys. See what else we can come up with on the day.
Yeah, BMNR Tech was asking about looking worse than Ethereum, right? It just shows that these treasury companies just can't get it. They can't get it going. And you're better off, especially now with if you want the juice, there's leverage, right? Like Mitch just mentioned ETHU. I think it's going to be a leveraged Ethereum. I know there's leveraged Solana with Salt and leveraged Ripple with XXRP. I really like just the look of Ethereum on the actual crypto chart for the long term. It's one of the only ones that hasn't challenged its all-time highs. So I think, it's probably going to happen at some point. But
all right, guys, up $50 on AMD. Really nice dip buy there as I added on the dip right below the support. Was almost expecting the support to break one more time and then just added there. So now sized in, 100 shares, 224.57 AMD. Looking for this to come rallying back, right? So we'll see what happens. Would love to see it hold 225 now and start to drive. One telling sign, the Qs keep holding on hourly. Looks beautiful for it to start to break the 620s. Let's see if we can get another drive in the Qs here and break the 620.
absolutely. Yeah, so the SPY's looking good. Qs here are
Financials,
looking
man. I
good.
know you mentioned that early, Michael, but just to give you some roses there, it's actually taken the lead in the sectors and continued. So
2.5% in financials is wild to me, right? So
2% from the open too. It's not just the
yeah,
overnight gap. It's 2% from the open, which is I always think more important, right? Overnight
mhm,
gap, you tricked a whole bunch of people. How many people really got in? But when you just go offer like this, buy program me, like, well,
yeah,
yeah, you get a lot of people in the stocks. So
yeah, and it does feel very buy programmy. If you look at this chart, it's just they're taking
yeah, look at
every bit of
Citi, look at
liquidity they can get.
JPM. The actual charts also tell you the same thing, right? I like to compare them and see, is there any pullback on these charts? No. You know what I mean? It didn't come back to the open. It just hung in there. So,
So yeah,
what about SoFi with this doing really well? I think this is a good one to look for a swing. I was
oh,
watching
and
this on
also
Friday. I did not take it, but it's doing well.
I think a lot of this is being let's see, Fed chair, because there was some Kalshi kind of mix up with the Fed chair, like who will be nominated as Fed governor in 2026. There was the chart's not loading. There was a shakeup where we had a Waller start to really gain some traction here, and he wasn't part of this before.
Yeah, Waller. Another drone player making a move, really cheap name, UAVS.
Yeah,
Ooh,
so
and then another one that I've talked about in the past, just to mention, because I think these are important. These are theme ideas. AVAV, now up almost at 300. Talked about that with Steve, and how this was the higher quality drone play to play. Look at that. That looks pretty.
very much growth, right? Growth
You
companies.
know what's going to happen, right? Everyone's going to say that's a Head and Shoulders, Michael. You ready to eat them alive out there?
Oh, I see. I love Head and Shoulders because they fail like
You buy the
70% of the time.
neckline on Head and Shoulder patterns. That's what I'm starting to learn, Michael. So
You
we can do
could,
a
right?
strategy on that.
The neck breaks and then starts to retrace back up. It's because with machine learning and computer vision and stuff, they've tested a lot of these patterns, and Head and
That's a good
Shoulders
one.
fail like 70% of the time because it makes sense. It's funny that all of the trend continuation patterns work and all of the reversal patterns fail, and it makes sense, right? Is because things trend more than they reverse. So picking
Yeah.
tops and bottoms is hard. But yeah, so anytime someone says here's a Head and Shoulders y pattern, it doesn't mean again, you can win with a sub 50-50 win rate, but just means that there's more of a chance that Head and Shoulders is not a Head and Shoulders and just a long messy base that's going to resolve upward than it is anything else, right? So CVX news here. CVX chartered tanker carrying Venezuela crude departs from Venezuela waters bound for the U.S. Gulf course. So they're already taking the oil, and I guess CVX is the one that's leading the charge there.
Yeah, they already had it there. Remember, they already have everything there, and they already were pulling oil. Just a limited. They were very limited because of
Yeah,
the embargo that the U.S. had, right? So, I think this is also just to make some announcements, right? You gotta make things look better.
right. Well, and
You know
now
what I mean? You gotta stop thinking about all the people that that lost their lives, and let's focus on oil.
well, and yeah, and I guess Greenland. I'm
Oh
just reading
yeah,
off of Bloomberg. He's
he's
talking about
thinking he threatened like pretty much the whole anything instead of North America or South America or Central. He pretty much told everyone, get ready because this is America. Everything is owned by us. If we want to come grab it, we come grab it. That's pretty much what he was out there saying, Michael. He even said that about
oh,
Canada. He said, if
well,
I want to come grab it, I'll come grab it. So
hey man, we fought one war, us and you guys, and we won. Now it may have been like 200 years ago or more, where it was with muskets and stuff, but we did one. I think it lasted like a day and a half, and we like just shoved each other. I think we burnt down your White House, I don't know if I remember that incorrectly from. Let's ask Perplexity. I don't know if I
yeah,
remember that. Did Canada burn down the first White House? Yeah, 1812. So there we go. No, Canada did not
it's
burn
not the
down the
British
White
are
House.
coming; it's the Canadians.
No, I guess I was wrong. We helped. We were not Canada yet, so that technically wasn't us. So
Technically.
we'll take that. But yeah, so I brought this up. This was, I think, might be something to do with what's going on in finance. We have like a flippening happen again here, where Warsh is starting to overtake Hassett as the potential leader, and then there's had this big surge from Waller out of the blue. So, right, I don't know if Warsh is more of a cutter than Hassett, but I don't know. Could be part of it.
All
Could be
right.
some of the reason. I'm just trying to look to see because that's you're right. The only thing that usually affects banks is are they healthy, but they're so regulated now that we're always going to know if there's any problem with the banks well before it happened, right? Remember the Dodd-Frank and all these things. So then it's just rates, right? How much are they going to make money? That's going to depend a lot on rates. But a huge breakout here in finance. This candle is just wild. This is probably the biggest candle in the XLF that I've seen in a long time.
Interesting is LAC starting to get a bounce there. I'm thinking about it for swing. I've got cut out plenty of times on this, but I think at some point this gets right back there towards 9 and 10 this year, and that's a 100% gain. So, you know what I mean? Sometimes if I think something's going to make a 100% gain, well, I just got to keep an eye on it. At some point, it could follow. There's the Qs almost breaking that 620s. We tapped it for a second there. I think that's an important outlook to watch to see if we get above that 620 spot and start to ride up. And ding, 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 ding. There it is. There it is. Just hit the 620 spot. Let's see if we can get another lift here in AMD now that happened, right? I talked about would Qs break the 620s and we start to see a lift off and a hold of 225s. That's looking pretty good there. Let's take a look here at the Qs. You guys can see that now you're getting that drive on the 620s. Now I don't want to see it come back for this move. So now at this point, I want to see it kind of hold this trend and then now start to maybe take pullbacks into this area, but really just start to hold this area, right? So that'd be the good look. A little pullback into that, a buy, and then a 620 breakout here in the Qs. That will help my AMD trade. That will help plenty of tech trade come back and can hold the financial trade higher, right? So good looking trade there. You got your KRE still?
I do. Well, my DPST, my deposit.
Yeah, that's doing really good today, man. That's don't look at it today.
I'm trying not to. Today is just one of those. They're running the everything, right? Everything that was
New Year trade,
down.
dude. If you weren't ready to make money, then that's on you, right?
Yeah, everything that's been beaten down, right? This whole tax loss harvesting re-push through. We're getting a lot of analyst upgrades and things going through. And yeah, things are looking great out there, right? So we just need to stick with it. I don't know. I keep typing in. There it goes. Yeah, DPS. Wow. Yeah, I just looked at it.
Yeah, you looked. I told you, don't look. Don't look.
Looking good. I'll take it. And it'll happen, right? Where these things are going to continue. I think for some time. I think you get this early part of the month where you get all of the institutions reposition into what's happening. We're going to get these conversations. I don't know what's going to be next in the conversation. Are we going to get, I don't know, healthcare bills, things like that? We're starting to get lawmakers back in sessions. January is always a really big time because everyone's trying to make, everyone's feeling all jacked up after the holidays, trying to get stuff done. It's like how the gym is super busy in January and then dies down by February. Markets kind of do the same thing.
Tell me about it. I don't even want to go. They scare me away, man. All these people.
I go at the weirdest time just for my time, because right, the market opens 10:30 for me, so I'm in there at like 9 when everyone else just starts work. It's like, get out of my way.
All right, guys. Well, now in a second here, if I can get AMD to lift, there it is, looking good. Now it just needs to take off. Let's see if we get a takeoff here. A little part of me thinking about adding on the swing. I could add on the swing, but I've been trying my best to only do that in cases where I'm trying to just cash in quickly. And the AMD thing is going to be more based on a catalyst tonight, a speech, right? So I would much rather just buy and sell into the move, right? Sell into the close today, right? So we'll see what happens, guys. Q's got their 620s now just hanging out. So just to note that. Looking around at the small caps out there, let's see how those are doing. How's Fly? I never grabbed it. It's still pushing, man. That looked great. It was the spread that kept me out in the volume. But that one's gonna be one of those that I feel like it just has a pretty good looking chart in the right area, and also hated right now. You know how we like those, Michael. Hated IPO was IPO'd at 70. You got it back to 20. You got more than a 50% haircut there. And now it's time to get going with SpaceX coming out, all these types of things. Yeah, this could push.
I think you take anything that people hate right now and you start to pay close attention to that. Anything that was really beaten up into the end of the year and you potentially get a rotation in just needs one a piece catalyst, some news event, something just to go, okay, it's time to start shaking these things up. They got sold into all last year. Tax loss harvesting. It's not a huge seasonality guy, but like you can't avoid taxes. I did tax loss
No,
harvesting.
you
I
can't.
took a look at my investment accounts and anything that was down that year. I said, you
Fig.
know what, screw it, right? Yeah, fig. That's
It's
another
an
good one.
interesting one.
Yeah, that's found a.
AMD holding well, man.
And I think that's found a decent little base, right?
Yeah.
So you could just draw a nice kind of, draw a rectangle around this. And if it breaks the top, you buy it, you put a stop at the
Lose.
bottom, move on.
Losers become winners. Winners become losers. Take a look at Palantir today. Down. It's up, but it's in my eyes, that's down from the open, and there's a big reason why. I think Palantir is starting to break down, like a real breakdown. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, probably got the gap because everyone's like, oh, they probably use Palantir to help do whatever with. That's how. I still short this MNTS. I just slow little recover, a nice little tick down there. So I noticed that there's the P&L that we're looking for there. That would be a big drop. So I don't even know if that will probably just close between the open and the close. Only got a couple trades back on. Right, we're net like flat, and then gross we're up because of some of these. So we're up like 50, $60 today. So might not lose the account today, maybe tomorrow. Just waiting. There's Core Weave ticking back up. Surprising that didn't do better with the rally that I'm seeing here in crypto across the board. Right, we have IBIT and everything doing well. Let's actually add this. IBIT should be in there. We should also add ETHU or ETH, and then we should add what X or USO should probably be on there now. Just building this list up slowly, and this is how I build up my ETF lists. Anything that's interesting, I put in, and then if it dies for too long a period of time, it will get just ripped right back out. So I don't need to look at it. XLI Industrials hitting new highs here, so positive for that. Really across the board, right? With again XLF and KRE leading everything.
All right. Here's one that I just want for a longer piece swing. I'm thinking maybe even weeks out. So I got to go small and then let it work. I'm going to go 50 shares here. I got to maybe risk about $1. So I'm trying to go it down towards 40. I'm going to go down to 40 shares here on path to the upside.
Path.
It's part of the theme trades. Part of the theme trades too, guys. This is one of the best themes I think for this year is looking into autonomous and also kind of taking off with agent AI. And agent AI, big part of path. I think there's a lot of volume also in this. Look at the monthly. Look how much volume came in October. Over 500 million shares were traded. That's a telling sign for me. Look at the volume. I look at the range. The stuck between 19 and 14. It's now starting to hold on the top end, which is 16. So I'll take it, man. I don't want to miss it. So I'm going to grab a little bit there, and I will set the risk already right now to 15. Like $15, right? So I'm talking a whole buck away from the action and very far. We're talking 6.3% away. So.
Swiss government seizes funds from Venezuela leaders. Maybe that's part of the XLF
There's
move.
not much there, dude. What you grab? Their money is worthless.
Well, they got all $7 of it or whatever it is then.
Yeah, dude, because the money is literally worthless. Like we're talking you if you're thinking we have inflation, you have no idea what inflation is.
Yeah, no, their numbers were
No. You have no
huge.
idea. Literally, you have no idea what inflation is. We're talking over probably 10,000%. You heard that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
10,000%. It like the money, Michael. At some point, the the paper that it was printed on was worth more than the dollar than the actual thing itself.
Yeah. Well, and there's the whole stories of like people bringing wheelbarrows into right to
Just
buy
burn it.
things, and yeah,
Just burn it because it's
heat,
not worth it.
heat your
the,
house.
the hard part really, and you know, we can get into it, and I don't think people know too much about Venezuela too much, but like people lost their retirements, their pensions, because they expected to have, let's say, for us, you know, Americans, it's nothing, but like say $60,000, $80,000 in the bank, right, to like live off of for retirement, and it went to zero in the bank, zero.
That's right. The argument for crypto, people say, "Well, I don't understand crypto," and it's funny that you see
Crypto
crypto
is where it took
adoption
off.
more across outside of the U.S. It's like easy for us, U.S. and Canada and stable countries to say, "Well, we have money. What do I need a digital money for?" And then it's like you look across the world, and there's a lot of places out there that don't have a stable money, and so a digital money does make a whole lot of sense. Where it's like, okay, well, yeah, you gotta kind of look at where you are and just look a little. Oh, okay, it makes sense to also just corrupt governments, right? Being able to hide very easily. Your money is on your phone. It's on your wallet. You memorize the pass key or whatever it is, so you could just have it right in your head, and they can't really take that from you as easily. So yeah, that's the argument. Because I think I even saw that in chat there. Some saying they don't understand crypto. To me, that's right. I think Bitcoin's going to be around because if it wasn't, it would have been gone by now. Right? They tried to kill it a bunch of times and they just didn't. But B, that's the kind of stuff that makes sense to me. I'm not one to think that everyone's going to be buying their cheeseburgers at McDonald's with crypto soon. But yeah,
That's what most transactions in Venezuela right now are being transaction in Bitcoin.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense, right? Is because that's a place that you can know, right? People go, oh yeah, but Bitcoin's very volatile. Look, it's down 50% from highs, and people in Venezuela will laugh, be like, I wish my currency was only down 50% from highs. That'd be
Exactly.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be
Like,
great.
that sounds a lot better than 10,000%.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really all about the what is the game plan? And again, I don't think in the future we're gonna have, but that's why I have a certain amount of my net worth in crypto, and it will just stay there forever. And that's why I think more and more you're seeing that, and that's why I've given the whole institutionalized argument for a while. I don't think it's good for the price of Bitcoin. The fact that it's getting institutionalized, I think Bitcoin is going to move less and less over time. But for the use and utility of Bitcoin, obviously the institutionalization is a good thing. And again, I just think it means that I wouldn't be shocked if we're stuck between, well, we're at 94,000, between 94,000 and what was it, 125 was the high. If we're there for years, that wouldn't surprise me, just because there's no, as soon as you get BlackRock and all those people involved, the volatility is going to decrease because they make money making markets, right? They don't make money buying speculative assets and having them go up. They laugh at people that do that. They just want prices to be stable because they make money on transaction fees, which is a way better business to be in. Same with Citadel, right? The people who talk about, oh, well, Citadel wants my GameStop to go down. Citadel doesn't care. Citadel wants you to use market orders on Robinhood. That's all they want you to do, is because they make their fraction of the penny and they stay market neutral the entire time, and they're just flipping in and out kind of over and over and over again. And those are the
Right,
guys who do the best.
I'm trying to dip by some oil here. I don't even know if I have the buying power, but I'm gonna try to dip by some Gush.
Gosh.
Yeah, I don't have the buying power. I'm just gonna have to leave it alone. AMD. Oh, there it goes. AMD finally cut me out. I had to put it break even because it just got to the point where it's so choppy that I said, like, cut me out already. Like, you know what I mean? I keep getting up like $100, but it doesn't break out. So I just cut out of it. I can get back in it. That's how I feel like on the day trade. But I also have other trades that look good, like that, like Gush back to the upside, right? A stock that has pulled back into the gap, hit the support, undercut it, which was 2170.
You went towards like 2150, and now you're recovering 22. So that's the trade here on Gush.
So what does that mean, Tech? December 2025, the SEC issued a landmark no action letter to the DTC. Does that mean they're allowing tokenization? Because that's interesting. As soon as stocks get tokenized, that's when 24-hour markets happen. Like the DTC, for those who don't know, the DTC is the guy on the back end that's really boring, that makes sure that like are allocated to the right person, and that margin and shorting and all that. Right?
Yeah.
They're built on like the most ancient infrastructure you could possibly imagine. Just pure, like just hey, we built this thing in the 50s and we haven't updated it, kind of thing.
Adding to
So
Gush.
yeah, when they go into tokenization is what people want from securities, because that removes that. That is instant settlement. That is 24-hour markets. That is making stocks trade like crypto, just all the time, peer to peer if you want to, whatever you want to do. And that to me is super interesting, because you guys know I'm pumped. A lot of people are going to hate 24-hour markets. Us systems traders, us bot traders, I think we're going to really like it, because yes, there's not going to be a lot of liquidity to begin with, but that's okay. I can use limit orders to get in and out. Right? I can play with that. Sometimes less liquidity can actually be way more profitable, which is kind of counter to what a lot of people think, but it certainly can happen. Low liquidity for us small guys can be a good thing. So
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll have a little bit of Gush here. Looking for this to rise here, guys. It's 10:44, and I will be wrapping up a tiny bit early today. We'll wrap up at like 10:55. Just got to go do some things with the new house. So much to do, so little time. But
you got a nice office there. You got a nice little dedicated space.
Yeah, I already had a dedicated space. This one's actually smaller, but what I'm really loving is the internet here, guys. You don't have to worry about me cutting out anymore, man. I have like 500 upload speed. Like it's 1.2 gigs down and up. But with
Damn.
Wi-Fi, it's like it goes down a little bit, but I can hardline eventually. I just got to get it, and it's real cat. It's real cat 5. It's not like the fake fiber optics. But it actually came with like the HOA. The HOA is a little expensive, but I'm happy because the internet's good, and that's all I need, really. Spectrum was giving me the fits. I remember last year, like 2 times, the modem just gave out on me. just stopped working.
Yeah, that's no good. Well, and yeah, hardwire eventually will definitely make your life easier, but that's crazy. I have like fiber internet, and I don't get 500 up. Like upload is usually where they really try to
They take it
ya.
away. Yeah. There's these new companies, these small companies that are starting up now, Michael, that I think are really going to change the big boys. They're offering the upload, well, what they call like simultaneous, like what your download is your upload, and that's big move. The reason why Spectrum and the other companies do this is that they offer it to businesses, and they offer that speed to business on upload. So you need a business account if you want that type of speed. But I mean, sometimes I don't want to pay the business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what I pay the business internet, and it is outrageously expensive.
Yeah. All right, looking around out there, guys, seeing some names kind of holding in, right? And this is the time, I think, where you take swing bets, man. That's what I'm doing. I'm taking a lot of swing bets during this time because there's names like, let's say APLD. I don't have it, but if I go to that chart, I'm not mad. You gotta know charts.
It's just nuts, this XLF chart.
Yeah, XLF is on a major breakout. Major.
That's a buy program if I've ever seen one.
Yeah. It's an interesting bet. I might take a swing on it. Lumen Technologies. It's like fiber optic cables for these data centers. LUMN.
Oh, it's a little cup and handle intraday look there.
It's one of the stocks that I give a shout out to my man Carl out there. Hope you're out there having a good time, man. This is one of the stocks that he brought to me at 5, and I was like, ooh, Okay, I watched it go all the way up to 11. He's had it for a long time, but I think this is a good one to watch this year. At some point, could catch again.
Elon Musk confirms audio and video calls coming to X. Why do I want to call someone on Twitter? I don't understand. Like, I'm okay. Thank you. I
Yeah,
don't
they're
need I
talking
don't
about that stuff. All right, guys, we'll start wrapping it up here, guys. I still have the Gush trade on. Probably going to go ahead and add here and then just set the risk. Yep, I'll go for it. I'll take the add right there. Boom. Now starting to lift. Gush coming back. This is a quick trade. Try to get it back to 23 and sell the move. All right, we'll see what happens out there, guys. Really good day for me in the day trade, but even better day in what? The swing, guys. So we'll keep swinging. We'll keep pushing. Awesome day for me overall. On the swing account, I took a lot of cash also throughout the way. So up on the swing account, 271 and have 258 still open. So a nice $500 day on the swing. I'm not going to be mad, man. Let's keep battling.
Don't be mad. Yeah, break even day for me. Right, the account hangs on by a thread. I'm going to make some changes to the code tonight, just to try to shore up a little bit, make sure the profit and loss is a little bit good, because you can see a couple like $50 gains here, and these should be 75. So it just means it's not accounting for the slippage correctly. So I just got to do some changes there. But yeah, overall, right, continue to march forward on this system we're building kind of live in front of everyone.
All right, traders, we'll see you guys back tomorrow. Like always, smash the like. We'll be back for more, but don't go anywhere, as we'll change you guys over now to the scanner side of things and see how things are going. So keep pushing on. I'll see you next time, Michael Noss. I'll see you tomorrow, my friend. All right, there he goes. Let's get to the scanner side. Let me see if that's set up perfectly here. If not, we might have to wrap it up here today, but let me just see if it's set up here. All right. No, it isn't, guys. So we'll probably wrap it up here right now, guys. We'll get that set up in a little while. Scanners will be on tomorrow. I apologize for the kind of issues today in our startup and in our closing, but we'll get out of here. Have a good one, guys. Like always, stay safe, stay nimble and quick, guys. Looks like we might have. No, that's Michael Noss. No, that's not who I was looking for. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. You guys have a great one. Take care. We'll see you guys later today on Power Hour. Power Hour starts at 3 p.m. Eastern. That'll be Steve. Look for a new stream. We're going to have him come up there as we don't have the scanners up right now. We'll see you next time right here on Trade the Pool, guys.